Temperature regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The MyPillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, MyPillow 2.0. When I invented MyPillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. MyPillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The MyPillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, MyPillow 2.0. When I invented MyPillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. MyPillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The MyPillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, MyPillow 2.0. When I invented MyPillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. MyPillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The MyPillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, MyPillow 2.0. When I invented MyPillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. MyPillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com.
Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Lots to do on a busy Tuesday. Slick Rick's here. Is going to do the sports. Slickster, how are you?
Doing good, Big D.
How was your day? You sound like you got a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, but I think the whole country has one. Yeah, I've got one too now. Yep, absolutely. A little
All
bit.
right. What's coming up in sports? Anything?
Well, of course, it's all about Super Bowl talk, Big D. You know, we're talking about the Chiefs and we're talking about Philly. And
I'm not moving off my Philly pick, at least for right now.
Are you? You're
not
shifting?
moving.
Oh, you're on. Okay, you're
No,
on.
I'm
You're
not
on to
moving
Philly.
on.
Yeah, I think you're on to something there with Philly. I think they got a
You
good
do?
shot there. I do.
All right, I'm moving off my Philly pick. No,
I'm gonna trick you this time. I'm picking last when we pick the Super Bowl.
Oh,
well,
okay.
you run the show, so I can't necessarily do that, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so fans are, fall. They had the big celebration in Philly. Some poor fan fell off a pole, got hurt really bad.
Only in Philly.
What's that?
Only in Philly.
Oh, of course, only in
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little out of control there.
yeah,
so.
they got a lot at stake there.
All right, Slick will do sports coming up. Brought to you, of course, by MyPillow. Rick Delgado's here. He's got the news. Delgado, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
You got a haircut?
I did.
You got them all cut?
Most.
Yeah, most of them cut.
Today was grooming day.
Yes.
Yes.
It looks good.
Thank you.
You buff and polish that too?
I'm
or
buffed
just
and polished.
cut it? Yeah,
My
nice.
feet look good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Shaved.
no, it was just too much TMI.
Well, no,
Just TMI here.
I
come on.
shaved. I clipped. You got to keep the yard. You got to keep the yard cleaned up in case friends stop by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
That's what
You
you
never
do,
know.
right?
All right, very good.
Okay.
Delgado will have the news. Vinnie Mac is here. Vinnie Mac is back. Vinnie Mac, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. And, I paid the same amount for coffee this morning. It didn't go up.
Wow.
Really?
Did not go up. I thought for sure. I follow AOC. She's very, very pretty, and she has super intelligent things to say.
Yeah.
And coffee costs the same.
That's right.
So I was really weirded out by that.
How about eggs?
Eggs are a different story. 2 eggs over easy for me every other day. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you know when that price goes up. I haven't seen it.
Well, today you had your first real day of full-blown lying, I guess, is the only way to put it. This is, it was a fire sale of lying for the Democrats today.
Oh, yeah.
Over this freezing of funds, no matter how many times Carolyn Levitt or Stephen Miller or somebody came out and said, here's what's not affected, it literally didn't matter. Chuck Schumer, boom. AOC, boom. People in the press room after she answered the question 4 times, again. So what about Medicare? What about this? I've answered it 4 times, but let me answer it again. These are not affected. Should I try it in another language? What should I do? So today was your real first day of full-blown kind of TDS media scams working their way back now.
It's all soundbite politics, too. That's all the left does. Whatever soundbite they can use to distort the information, to convince their followers they're doing something really well, this is what they'll put out.
Yeah,
Even though,
the very
they're
fine people
corrected.
hoax, right? The very fine people hoax.
Very fine people.
One
hoax.
of many hoaxes.
Yeah.
yes.
One of many.
This is the first official media hoax now, is this freezing of funds and what it really affects and what it is. And we'll probably hear more about that tomorrow as well. And again, no matter how many times you say it, it really doesn't matter. So,
But didn't he yesterday, and I think we played the clip, saying that none of this is going to affect Medicare and Medicaid and all that
Yeah, of
stuff?
course.
Yeah, of course he did.
Didn't he say, like I heard him say it?
He said it. She said it. And what was, by the way, a fantastic press conference. That was a 10.
27 years old she is.
She is amazing. Aptitude on everything. I was so impressed with her. But everybody has said it. Doesn't matter. They're just going to say what they want to say. They want to scare people. They want to make people think that they're going to cut Social Security. Meanwhile, Biden, I don't know if you know this. Did you guys talk about this the other night? Biden dipped into Medicare for the Green New Deal. He took money out of that fund.
Nope.
Ram covered that, actually. I saw the clip today.
We
there's
have,
no
we
one
have
talking.
talked about that on the show, yes. But we didn't this week. But yes, you're right.
Thank you.
For once. Who's our guest in the studio, Vin?
Oh,
I didn't know you had any friends.
I'm paying him $29.95 an hour right now just to hang out with me.
Okay.
He drives a mean Uber. Yeah. This is one of the finest filmmakers in the country.
That's what I heard.
Yep. He has several hit movies out there. He and I have worked together many, many times, Stephen Mena. And we worked on a great movie, a comedy called Brutal Massacre, a comedy. I suggest everybody go out and see that because yours truly has a starring role in that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You do?
Yes, I do. And we have a new one coming out. Can I mention it, Steve? You sure? Okay. It's called The Ruse. It's a murder mystery film. shot up in Maine. I have a little part in it as well.
Is it featuring Selena Gomez?
Yes, there's a lot of crying scenes with Selena. It's
Okay.
beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good.
We had a
I'm
tear
there.
wiper on the production.
I hear her tears is what's allowed the water to flow in California now. So,
Yeah, she's helping. Anything you can do.
It's amazing.
yes.
That went viral.
All right, very good. Well,
Thank you.
Stephen, welcome. Hope you enjoy whatever you're going to watch here of this disaster.
Yeah. We're not necessarily a massacre, but the show's brutal, I can tell you that.
Talk about a brutal
You hang in
massacre.
there.
It happens here every night, 2 hours a night.
This is going to be a segment in the movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's lots in the news to cover besides the freakouts that are going on. But I catch my attention to something that just broke a little while ago, and that is the Wall Street Journal has a piece out tonight. Wall Street Journal outs Senator Thom Tillis. And you know why they outed Thom Tillis tonight? Because he's the guy that was behind the Hegseth ex-sister-in-law's last-minute hit, as we've now discovered. And as
Really?
we've talked about,
Wow.
and I said, Roger Wicker, you're in charge of this committee. You're in the majority. Time to find out why the ranking member there for the Democrats, how he knew that this is the person to go get an affidavit from, just seemingly out of the blue. Well, now we know. Now we know from the Wall Street Journal tonight. Wall Street Journal outs Senator Thom Tillis as the guy behind Hegseth's ex-sister-in-law's last-minute hit. When Pete Hegseth was a couple days away from a vote, a typically low-rent act that we've learned to expect during high-profile Republican nominations being considered occurred. From out of nowhere, a non-participant in any event appeared with a slanderous letter accusing Hegseth of domestic abuse. Senators received an affidavit on Tuesday from the former sister-in-law of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. We all know the deal, what happened. Ultimately, the letter was deemed not credible by, well, anyone who was not determined to defeat Hegseth's nomination. Not only was the former sister-in-law not present at some of the events she claimed happened, but his ex-wife flatly denied the events ever happened. And, of course, she said, I'm not going to speak on this again, but there was never any abuse in my marriage. And then, of course, Pete goes on to obviously get confirmed. And now we find out in a statement, the Wall Street Journal reveals that it was Thom Tillis who, I guess, put the ranking member on the lead to get this affidavit from the sister. In a statement, Tillis didn't dispute the Wall Street Journal's reporting about the call they had. He said Danielle Hegseth's statement did carry weight, which is why I communicated my concerns to the White House and spent days doing my due diligence and seeing if there was any firsthand corroborating accounts of the sworn statement. He continued that he was not able to speak with anyone who provided firsthand corroboration. I'm not a Tillis fan, the author says, but I'm not leaping to conclusions, as some have, that Tillis was out to sandbag Hegseth. Were that the case, he would have had the power in his hands, as he was the 50th vote. It's well known, though, that Tillis was a question mark on the Hegseth nomination. If someone approached him with a blockbuster new evidence, it only makes sense that he wanted to see it and assure the person, yeah, you know what? I'm not really down with the way the Wall Street Journal is. I think Tillis is probably the one who told what's-his-name to go get the affidavit, if I had to guess.
Well, it did say that, like in the first, I think he was the one pushing it. And according to this from Raw Story, Tillis said he personally assured, and this is in quotes, the sister-in-law, the former sister-in-law, Danielle Hegseth, that her statement would carry weight with the other Republican senators.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
So she goes to him. He says to the ranking member, hey, you can probably get an affidavit from her and we'll get this guy out of here. And there you go. And this is the sleazeball from North Carolina.
Yep.
Who's been a disaster for as long as I can remember doing this show, at least in the last 4 or 5 years, on everything. His name is always stuck in the middle of it. That's why I said, Laura Trump talking about running in Florida. Forget that. Stay in your home state, run in North Carolina. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, 100%.
Unbelievable.
The rhinos are still out there, man, in a bad way. This is disgusting.
Well, look at what's going on in Florida. We talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
the Florida legislature, supermajorities for the Republicans. And what are they trying to do? Trying to kneecap the governor and kneecap the president. And their defense of it today, all day long on social media, is laughable. As they try to pick one shiny object after another to point to and go, oh, no, look, we're really into enforcement. And every shiny object they pick has nothing to do with getting to the crux and getting to the core problems with illegal immigration. None of them. And as they try to defend themselves, and the governor's been on the offensive as much as he can, but you've got state legislatures there who have about 400 people following them on social media who are unfortunately somehow in charge of this thing and want to gut all of the enforcement actions in what the governor wants to do, which is what the president wants to do.
Yeah.
They're pretty much in lockstep here. They've played golf together. They've spoken together. But the Florida legislature, and here's a state where the governor has decimated the Democrat Party, literally decimated, and here we are breathing oxygen back into them because we're really controlled fake opposition when it comes to really getting down to where the rubber meets the road, and especially on a tough subject like this.
It's where the Republicans continue to eat their own. That's the thing that happens almost every cycle. Something great happens. Trump gets elected. He has a mandate. It's a landslide. All the other things. And then there's always the Republicans getting in their own way. One thing I can say that makes me feel a lot better is, getting Hegseth through. That was a tough one, but they got him through. They got 50 votes, plus, the VP. They got a few others through. There's a few rogue Republicans, the obvious ones. But in the past, there were a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
The past
it was a lot worse.
ugly.
Yeah.
A lot harder.
At least now you see that he's got this, he knows how the game is played.
Yeah.
He knows who he can trust, who he can't trust. And he said that a long time ago. When he loses everything, he'll know who he can trust. Remember? And it had nothing to do with politics. Yep. It was about, losing money, losing his fortune, what have you. I think he had this interview back in the 90s. He said this. But it applied in 2021 and forward. Because now he saw who stuck with him through all that. Through all the BS, through all the lawsuits, through all the nonsense, the investigations. And now he knows who he can trust, and that's who he's bringing in. So now you're going to see things getting done. I think Bannon calls it flooding the zone, using the sports analogy. Yeah. He is flooding the zone when you see the next headline.
You can literally see it.
Yeah.
All right, just getting started on a Tuesday night. Vinnie Mac's got news. Rick Delgado's got news. Slick's got sports. Aaron and Fran holding it down, as always, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice. Much more to do. Glad you're in. We're back right after this.
That's crazy to your point, Rick. He put out that executive order saying, I forgot which department it was with, but they couldn't put out any information. I think it was health.
Yeah.
NIH, I think, that they couldn't put out information. Last time around, he was sandbagged, leaked, everything all around. The fact that he even did that just goes to show you how much smarter he is in this last run that he's had now, which is the 4 years are paying big dividend.
All right, chat, what's going on? What's going on a Tuesday night? Welcome on in, all of our friends.
Keeping an eye on the chat. Very busy.
Yeah,
YouTube, X, Rumble, Getter, Facebook, whatever you're on, welcome on in. Damon, thanks for airing the press conference. No problem.
Yeah, well done.
We're going to talk about your cigars. They're on the show.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that opening this segment.
Yeah, that guy already gave me a shout-out. Saw him in the chat.
Howdy do to the Rumblers.
Yeah, they're all busy. Get a chat.
What happened with this January 6th guy that got shot? You guys know?
No, it was
pulled over for traffic
stop.
I heard he got pulled over in the traffic stop and
resisted arrest, and somehow it went sideways.
That's a shame.
At least that's what I read. But boy, that's just seems
Bizarre.
bizarre.
I mean, you get out of jail finally. And
Dave
you have
Syverson,
road
what's
rage.
going on? Hello, Connie Lou on X. What's going on? That guy. What's up, buddy? Josh Thomas on Facebook. You guys are the best. Thank you. What's going on, everybody? Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. All right, 16 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. John Jutes, I believe it's pronounced, on Facebook says, Damon, are you kidding me? Florida isn't anything compared to Texas. We are in control of the state government, and yet they kneecap our attorney general, and now he's afraid to do anything. Hell, the Republican state government made it illegal for Attorney General Paxton to even investigate election fraud or crimes. Ha ha ha, it gets better. Governor Greg Abbott has not stopped the illegal invasion. The buses filled with illegal aliens still travel past our property from the border to San Antonio all day, all night. Quit being a moron. I'm wondering how
Fighting
my
words.
Wow.
I'm talking about what's actually going on in Florida. You're talking about what's going on in Texas, and I'm sure you're right about what's going on there. But how does that make me a moron?
Oh,
Well,
Wow.
Come on.
I mean, there's many ways you
It's
could point
open
to make me
season
a moron.
for
Talking
that.
about what's going on in Florida
not that obvious.
is not one of them.
No. Get the
So,
check and let's go.
yes, Exactly.
Yeah.
17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in. So I received today,
Oh, look at that.
look at this, from our friend That Guy on YouTube, this beautiful box of Freedom cigars, which he told me he was sending.
And I remember you didn't
Rocky
believe it.
Patel's. We got the footage of these errands that we shot. Oh no, it's in the box. There we go.
Oh.
Look at this. Look at these babies. Is
That is one hell of a box. Beautiful.
that beautiful?
Yeah.
So Gary sent these in. He told us he was going to, and I just can't thank him enough.
Oh,
Look at
that.
those.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
Keep
I'm
your
home.
feet on the ground and keep smoking
It's smoking.
cigars.
I mean, if I could light one of these up right now, I would. I don't know if Vin would appreciate it, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I'd
no.
still do it.
My hair will go on
Set
fire.
off the sprinkler system.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I can in this building, unfortunately.
We have water in New York, though.
Yeah, my,
Which I'm trying to rectify that problem too, but
my hairpiece will stink the rest of the night.
yeah, exactly. So, but what a beautiful box! Freedom
Beautiful.
Maduros by Rocky Patel's.
Nice.
They're beautiful cigars. I'll try one probably tonight. But look
Probably?
at that. Look at that.
Oof.
How great is that?
That's beautiful.
So, thank you very much.
That guy.
That guy
In the YouTube
Gary, much
chat.
appreciated. All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use. Brian Johnson on Facebook says, I don't think Damon's a moron. Thank you.
Oh, see? We have
Brian's the
support.
one.
We have support out there.
Brian is the one.
You've
Brian
got
wants
some,
a cigar. That's
Brian wants a cigar.
That's
yeah.
right.
So let's do some sports. Slickster's got it. What's going on, Slick?
All right, Big D, let's get right to it. Division I NCAA men's basketball right now. St. John's over Georgetown, 62-44 to go there in the second half. Also, second half, we have Kentucky, 43-37 over number 8 Tennessee. A little bit of an upset developing there. We have Louisville over Wake Forest, 53-27. We have also Michigan State, 9-3, just underway over Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, 12 to go there in the first. Also in the first, Kansas right now trails UCF 22-21, and St. Bonaventure 21-13 over Dayton, 11 to go there in the first. Let's skip over to the ice. NHL action up in Buffalo right now. Sabres 3-1 over the Bruins. About 9 minutes to go there in the second period. Also, all of these are actually in the second period. Canadians and Jets knotted at 1. The Lightning blanking the Blackhawks right now 1-0. We have the Hurricanes 1-0 over the Rangers in the Garden, Madison Square Garden, or MAGA Square Garden, right? A couple months ago. We have the Islanders and Avalanche playing at the UBS Bailey Score Arena. Guess what? No score. And the first period.
that's a good sign.
I got it down. And Capitals at the Flames. That's a 9 p.m. puck
Vin
drop.
went to an Islanders game. Did you go to You Barely Score?
Yeah.
I went to a You Barely Score. I got the pulled pork sandwich.
How was it?
It was excellent, by
Did
the
you have
way.
to use the American Express Black to pay for it?
I had to break that out.
$32 probably.
Oh yeah. You got a bottled water's like 12.
Yeah, well, that's cheap.
The pulled pork. I think it's with my daughters. I think I spent $100 for 2 sandwiches.
Your game went to overtime, didn't it?
Pulled
They
pork.
won in
already.
overtime.
They won.
Brock Nelson, baby.
Wow.
Brock, I love Brock. He's
Hey,
one of the best.
did you
to do
try
it.
the Shack chicken?
Oh, they have a Shack
I did
chicken.
not try the Shack chicken. I
I
went
hear
for the
it's really
pulled
good.
pork.
Yep. How you
excellent.
went? They tried the jerk chicken, right? No,
All right, what else is going on in sports?
All right, let's go.
I derailed
NBA
you
action.
there.
Lakers right now. Sixers leading the Lakers in Wells Fargo, or the Wells No-Go Center, for the Sixers playing 10 games under 500 right now. 38-32, spoken like a true Sixers fan.
Your Sixers.
My Sixers, correct.
Yes.
You know, like I said, 10 games under 500. 8 to go there in the second. Of course, no Joel Embiid. I think he's taking off the rest of the year. Rockets 35-33 over the Hawks. 6 to go there in the second as well. And then we have the Jazz and Warriors. That's a 10 p.m. tip-off, as are the Bucks and Trailblazers way out in Portland. We got time. We'll get to one story here. Well, ex-head of NFL officiating denies conspiracy to get Chiefs into Super Bowl. Boy, a lot of talk. People are really doubting the game. Could the fix be in? We don't know. This is Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. Dean Blandino, a name you've heard before, right? The former head of the National Football League's officiating, denies that refs conspired to get the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl this year. Blandino, who now works for Fox Sports as an analyst for NFL and college rules, dismissed claims that the refs are tailoring their calls or even outright cheating to help the Chiefs earn a rare three-peat invite to the Super Bowl, TMZ reported. If there's a room somewhere in the NFL offices where they were writing the script, they never invited me, and I was the head of officiating, Blandino, who led the NFL's refs from 2013 to 2017. But unfortunately, their run has actually been a little bit later than 2017, so he wasn't in that room, he wasn't near that room, so he's really talking a little out of context here. So somewhere it would slip up and it would get out, he told TMZ. He added that it's just a coincidence that the Chiefs seem to be getting all the good calls. Do teams get breaks at times? He asked rhetorically. They do. And not every call is right, and sometimes that happens. Blandino insisted that it all evens out over time. Meanwhile, social media has erupted with claims that refs conspired to advance the Chiefs to the Super Bowl with an avalanche of accusations that the game is rigged. I'll tell you, we're going to see how the attendance is this year. I mean, you know, the Super Bowl, Mercedes will be sold out the stadium, of course, but it'll be interesting to see
What do you
what
think
the
about
ratings
that?
are.
I mean, what do you think about that?
Me personally,
Do you think that, there's something there? Or?
I am so tired of the Chiefs. It's very hard for me to actually question the integrity of the game, Vin, to be honest with you. However, I am starting to have my doubts, and I know I'm not putting an aluminum hat on like Delgado, but I am starting to say to myself, I wonder, because it just seems very odd. I thought that Josh Allen was clearly a first down. However, he thought it was not. Now, that being said, I had Buffalo in my pick. He had Kansas City. So sometimes we see things through skewed eyes.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, there's got to be some investigation into this, which we'll never really know. But
Plus,
I don't know.
It could be that the refs had Kansas City too.
They could have had Kansas City, although they're not supposed to gamble. But they could have a brother-in-law in
The most obvious
Tuscaloosa who's putting money on the
I don't
game
know if
for
you
them.
saw this headline. Getting to this, Slick, and you put this up, Aaron. I saw this headline. Chiefs accused of rigging games by playing better than the other teams.
Ooh.
I don't know if you saw this.
Oh,
Man.
no.
Continuing a season-long trend following Sunday's AFC Championship game, the Kansas City Chiefs were accused of rigging games by playing better than the other teams. The latest claims arose after the Buffalo Bills were on the receiving end of a questionable spot following a fourth down play, which left them with only the lead, 13 minutes left in the game, and multiple opportunities to either stop the Chiefs from scoring or score more points themselves. The failure of the Bills to overcome the questionable call and outplay the Chiefs was cited as yet further evidence that Kansas City has been rigging games all year by playing better than their opponents.
Ouch, this hurts.
Quote, I don't know how much longer they can keep getting away with this, said Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen, whose team failed on 2 unnecessary 2-point conversion attempts during the game, thereby forfeiting easy point afters. Eventually, the league is going to have to do something about this and make it so the Chiefs don't play better than everybody else. I mean, come on, what are we supposed to do? Play better defense, score more points, not drop passes in critical situations, whatever. Bills head coach Sean McDermott attempted to address the controversy. He said, quote, I don't think it's pretty obvious to everybody what's going on in these games, he said. The Chiefs have obviously spent years hiring better coaches, drafting and signing better players, practicing every offseason, and outplaying their opponents. That shouldn't be allowed in our sport. It's just not right. At publishing time, the Philadelphia Eagles fans confirmed that they were already deep into preemptively coming up with ways to blame the referees if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like the Democratic Party. Basically, what they
it would
do.
be the first
Preemptive,
three-peat ever, too,
So-
in the NFL history. If they can win 3, nobody's won the hat trick there.
And
in
you
the
know, they
NFL
used to
and
say
Super
the
Bowl.
same about the Patriots, I remember.
Yeah.
They would always get the calls, right?
Yeah, Brady,
During
right?
their run?
That's why nobody liked Brady.
Yeah.
Yep. And Belichick. So we'll see. I mean, sooner or later they'll get dethroned, but I mean, you got to give them credit. They do a lot with no-name wide receivers. I mean, this guy Mahomes he really is an incredible
They
QB.
did so many great things
Yeah.
in that game. I mean, that was a controversial call, but They went to the the network there or whatever, the refs in the sky,
Yeah.
and they made the call.
Guys and me are
What can
probably
you
like
do?
just sour grapes. I mean, look at the helmet I have in front of me. My team couldn't even show up, so that's
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah, they had a
Anyway, Big
strong
D, that's a wrap there for you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. That article, by the way, was our friends over at the Babylon Bee. But, I mean, it has a hint of truth to it. I mean, stop complaining and go find a way to beat them.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah,
Yep.
simple.
Stop pointing to one remote time in the game, one call. McDermott got outcoached. He should be in jail. He got outcoached that badly. He got burned worse than Margaret Brennan got burned by J.D. Vance on Deface the Nation on Sunday
that was
morning.
Deface the Nation, all right.
Come on.
That hurt.
All right, 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some news with Vinnie Mac and with Rick Delgado when we get back. Glad you're in on a Tuesday night. We're back right after this.
That's why I'm a hockey.
Yeah.
One of the perks of owning your own building.
Because that's legal in Suffolk County. No, you have to put a humidor in.
I find whenever you put a cigar in your mouth, it changes your whole personality.
You can't smoke in a lot of public buildings. No, you
No,
can't.
I said
No.
if he owns a building, who cares?
Well, you got how do
Do what he
the
wants.
smoking the cigar place? They're allowed to smoke in there, right? They have a special permit. Yeah, you can get a permit, Big D. We'll get you a permit. I got some pull.
Usually, you need a special ventilation system for that as well.
Right. Well, he vents every show, so he's got plenty of
Get your
ventilation
medical
system.
note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And go,
My whole personality changes when I have a cigar.
Does it?
Just get very, like a old barking man. I just feel like,
Get off my lawn.
what are you talking about over there? What do I look like, an idiot? That kind of stuff. I mean, I find it just changes my personality. Yeah, I love it. Hey, wow, what's it doing there?
Courageous cat, Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, courageous
It's a
cat.
frog.
Yeah,
It's a frog.
that's exactly it.
Damon, that was different music,
If you
Racing
remember
Band.
Courageous
You know, we
Cat,
played that
oh
before.
man, and Minnie Mouse, all those guys.
But that was the guy.
Oh, the frog. Yeah. He was a
Courageous
gangster. Yeah, like a pinstripe suit. He looked like a mobster.
I just find when you talk with the cigar in your mouth and it's bouncing up and down, it's like, what are you, an idiot? Do I look like an idiot? Someone's an idiot. And I always find it's very controversial. I used to love that show, by the way. Courageous Cat and Minute Man.
Oh my God, they were the best.
Wait,
Come on.
we have another comment I want to read here. Hold this.
All right.
So you referred to a satire website, typical Damon. I'll be interested to see how many people end up watching the Super Bowl when they already know the outcome. But go ahead, Damon. Refer to the Babylon Billion.
Oh, that hurt. That hurt.
Ouch.
First you called
Okay.
something?
Jeremy Boston on Facebook. It's not
Somebody has
happy.
no sense of humor.
No, not
Oh
happy.
my God,
Okay.
they take the show to heart.
All right.
These people take it
Satire.
they
What a
take us
crowd.
too seriously sometimes. It's so
They're in love
funny.
with you tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Usually we don't
Let's
see this
see.
kind of. We don't see this
What
kind
else
of
we got
venom until
going
hour
on in
two.
the chat? Robert Chinchilla. Damon, you look like a movie star with that cigar.
Oh,
Wow,
that's a
Damon.
nice compliment, right? Wow.
My name's
Sue
Damon.
says the music is great, Damon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Dave
Fran picks the
Syverson says
music.
nothing like a cigar and an intern.
I see what
BJ, Bill
Oh,
Jefferson.
BJ, Bill
Ask
Jefferson.
Bill Jefferson.
That's
Blame
funny.
BJ. Ask old BJ about
sexual
that.
relations with that woman? I did
I
not.
did not have sexual relationships with that woman.
Yeah. I can pull it off. I got the hairdo.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Good old Bill.
Miss Bill Clinton. Like we all had a lot in common with Bill Clinton.
It was the only dem that had
You
a
have to
decent
wear the
sense of
hat with the
economy.
cigar, Damon. Steven says on Facebook. That's
Yeah,
a good
where's
idea.
your, where your hat? Well, that hat's out of season.
My
You
hat's
can't-
right here.
You can't wear a white hat this time.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Vinnie Mac's going to do some news here in a second. But let's start the news this version of the news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by, well, I did a little news at the top. Freedom Force Nutrition, available at liveFromStudio6B.com. 15% off the entire line of nutritious supplements, vitamins, all great stuff, and there's more to come.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, well, I was thinking nutritional supplements is what I wanted to say. So
Therapeutic cigars.
Thank you.
You're doing well.
Maybe we should do
That's an idea.
Michael Knowles, our friend Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire, has his own line of cigars. I think they're called Mayflower.
Well, I did not know that.
And I've heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
But
We should call ours Plymouth Rock.
Nice.
All right.
well, no, I don't know. We're gonna work on something, right, Vin? We're gonna work on something.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get back to the Ace marketing team back there. You guys start working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do the news, Delgado. What's going on? I have no idea what we're talking about. Zero idea.
I did not know
This
that.
is why they love you, Damon.
Yeah.
The Trump administration.
whatever.
I talked about it earlier. Flooding the zone. Here's another piece of that. This one just came out just before showtime. Trump administration offering buyouts to nearly all federal workers. Yes, you heard that right.
Wow.
The Trump administration is offering millions of federal workers the option to accept buyouts through a government-wide deferred resignation program. Thinking out of the box. Deferred resignation. If they resign by February the 6th. Those who accept the offer will receive pay and benefits through September the 30th, according to the draft email obtained by NBC News. The sweeping buyouts are being offered to make sure that all federal workers are on board with the new administration's plan to have federal employees in the office and adhering to higher standards, according to a senior administration official. We're 5 years past COVID and just 6% of federal work employees work in the office full-time. That is unacceptable, according to Senator Joni Ernst, the official said, who co-chairs the Congressional DOJ Caucus. The White House expects up to 10% of federal workers to take the buyout, the official said, and the emails will be sent out tomorrow afternoon, according to NBC.
I'll get that.
The buyouts are being offered to all full-time federal workers except military personnel, U.S. Postal Service roles, anything related to immigration enforcement and national security, but any other positions specifically excluded by your employing agency, it says. The offer comes as President Trump and his administration pushes federal employees to return to the office 5 days a week, scrapping the work-from-home allowances implemented during the coronavirus pandemic. So there you have it. It's the flood the zone. Get these people. You don't want to come to work? Great. Here's a buyout package. Nice knowing you. Kick rocks. See you later.
It's exactly what they should do.
Yeah.
Clean it out, man. We've all wanted that, right? Clean them all out.
He started yesterday with the firing the 12 DOJ officials, and you know there's going to be more. So just keep it coming, keep it going, keep it moving, keep these people getting out of the government, because obviously they don't want to be there.
He got caught last time, not doing any of this stuff.
Right.
It's great that he's planned so well. I love it. Great story.
Yeah. Another way of flooding the zone is getting people to testify. Who you're asking, Damon? I know you're asking. Former Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney,
hello,
believe it or not, would likely have to testify before a new U.S. House subcommittee that's investigating the events that took place before and after January 6, 2021. If she gets subpoenaed, which a subcommittee member has already said is going to happen, she would have to provide testimony. Despite Cheney receiving a pardon from former President Joe Biden during his final hours in office, presidential pardons come with the caveat that they remove the Fifth Amendment privileges for the recipient. The Fifth Amendment grants, of course, the right not to answer any questions. Many Republicans have criticized the work of the U.S. House Select Committee on the January 6th attack, which Cheney was the vice chair. So we'll see what happens there. But the investigation, according to House Speaker Mike Johnson, he announced the creation of the new subcommittee is going to investigate the events before and after January 6th. So we're going to find out everything that happened leading up to it, and then all the shenanigans that went on afterwards. Even, hopefully, we'll get to the bottom of the January 6th bomber. Remember that?
Yeah.
And if you've been listening to Bongino, and he said it again today, he said it was definitely an inside job. There's a reason the FBI stopped investigating a few days after they started the investigation. because they knew who it was and they had to shut it down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
He says he has inside information. It's you know, and it all makes sense because they tracked this person. I remember reading a story about it a few days afterwards. They tracked this person basically to a house, and then all of a sudden the story disappeared.
Right. Right.
So they knew who it was.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to tell you.
I think that's the case with so much of this.
Yeah.
You know, especially January 6th.
Yep.
And Liz Cheney. Now, Rick, she can just show up and not answer any questions. I think you said that, right?
No, she can't.
She has to answer questions. She can't just say, I don't recall. You know, Ronald Reagan thing. Well, here you go again. I don't recall.
They'll probably have the copies of all the evidence because they can try to delete it and get rid of it, but that stuff always makes
That's what
its way
Trump
back.
has said. They deleted everything.
They deleted everything. But we know that, you know, once you start recovery efforts, you can probably grab a lot of it back.
But she can say, I don't recall. She can't just say, she can't say, I plead the fifth.
She can't
say, I don't recall, or this is the way I remember. I mean, she can scoot around.
But they can probably read the transcript back to her.
Meaning what transcript?
Whatever she said.
Oh.
You remember saying this.
On the committee, you mean?
Right.
The Salem witch trials,
saying
as
that
we
you
called them.
didn't talk to any of the witnesses. You remember saying that, right?
Did you say that? Yes.
Well, what they
Meanwhile,
need to focus on is her interactions with Cassidy Hutchinson,
Right.
of course.
Well, that's why I said you remember talking. You said you didn't talk
But it's
with
all
any
the
of
private
witnesses.
conversations that we want to know about.
Right.
When she was witness tampering. Those are the ones we want to know.
I want to know, why did you delete information? Or why is it deleted? I mean, it's the obvious question when Hillary Clinton took BleachBit. Like, okay, why? Like, that seems like the most obvious question. What happened to the stuff? I don't know. Well, someone deleted it. How did that happen? I mean, that's a question we absolutely have to have an answer to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you the question we need an answer. I was thinking about this today. You know, the question we really need to have an answer to is who the hell was running the government for the last 4 years?
Yeah.
That's really who was it? Who is really responsible for all of the destruction of the country for the last 4 years? Because they shouldn't be able to just now slither off into the darkness just because it's over now.
Yeah.
So who exactly was it? That's what we really should find out, because obviously we know who it wasn't. So let's find out who it was.
Could it be the gentleman who claims to be dating one Jennifer Aniston now?
Oh, don't ruin my whole visual of Jennifer Aniston.
Could it
and
be?
he's dating her? Ruin it. I think it was a committee of people. I believe there was a group of people that made every decision and just put stuff in front of Joe and said, okay, this is what we're doing.
Right.
I don't think it was one person. Even, the Obama thing, which I felt for a long time, but I really think it was a group of people that were making all these decisions while Joe just, sat there and signed away.
Yeah, it was probably Obama with his group of people, like the Susan Rices of the world.
Exactly.
That were all peppered throughout the administration anyway.
Exactly.
So they were just directing, hey, this is what Obama wants us to do. You do this. Let's get this in front of the old man and have him sign it.
The fact that he didn't remember executive orders that he had signed,
right?
In that meeting with Johnson, that came out. I mean, that's just. And you look at how sharp this guy is, Trump. You look at how sharp he is. He knows everything. And Biden can't even remember what he signed. I mean, it's just the difference is like out of a Hollywood movie.
I'll tell you the other discussion we need to have is, I don't know what can be done about it, but there has to be something that has to be able to be done about the fact that every time President Trump puts out a directive or an executive order, the Dems can go judge shopping all over the country to whatever judge they want to find, and they'll find the one that suits their needs the best. And the judge will issue a temporary restraining order. So you have one judge, some liberal kook judge somewhere in the country, that dictates policy, whether it's on immigration or whether it's this freeze on spending for 330 million people. One judge has the ability to just say, and speak for everybody. It's just crazy. And I don't know what can be done about it, but it's just crazy because all they do is go judge shopping all the time. Anything they don't like from the president, they just go judge shopping. They find a judge, restraining order, and then we got to start. Then it's who knows how long to get through the court. It's just nuts.
Well, they do have precedent now because the last 4 years, what we see, anytime Joe Biden didn't like something that the Supreme Court said, he put it aside. He did it anyway. Trump can do the same thing. Hey, you made your ruling. That's great. We're going to do this anyway, and try and stop us.
The thing is, even if the judge froze that, they can't make the government send the money now. They've basically said, we got to stop. And they've got to now appeal that. Because the judge said, no, you can't do that, doesn't mean we're releasing the money to the things he froze. It means it's going to go be appealed and go through a court system. So Trump essentially achieved what he wanted to achieve, which was not send any money out.
Right.
Not what we wanted to have happen. But to Damon's point, judge shopping has become, just like going to Costco for the Democrats. This is what they do. They judge shop for Trump. They judge shop to get him, right, on all the craziness that they went after him for and anything that they want. These judges should be ashamed of themselves. Like, there has to be a disbarment method when you get this kind of thing. It can't be this level of partisanship.
Yeah.
On either side, by the way.
And there's the one in New York they could definitely go after, and a couple in D.C.
Oh, yeah. Easy. Easy.
Last story here, Damon. Dozens of former Intel officials are urging the Senate to confirm Tulsi Gabbard as the DNI. Now, I remember I told you tomorrow is RFK. His committee hearing is tomorrow. Thursday is Kash Patel, and Thursday is also Tulsi Gabbard as well. More than 4 dozen former Intel officials urged the Senate on Monday to confirm Tulsi Gabbard as President Trump's new director of national intelligence. She was nominated for the position by Trump in November after she joined the Republican Party, and the Senate Intelligence Committee is expected to hold the hearing for Gabbard on Thursday. Former Trump White House National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien and former acting director of national intelligence Rick Grenell were among the 4 dozen officials to urge the Senate to confirm Gabbard, claiming that she would help undo the gross politicalization that has come to characterize the Intel bureaucracy. So again, that hearing for Tulsi is going to happen on Thursday afternoon, around the same time as Kash Patel. But tomorrow the big one is RFK Jr.
Must-see TV.
That's a big
That should be a good one.
And his former running mate, Nicole Shanahan, has vowed to fund any primary challenges to anybody who doesn't support RFK nomination. She came out tonight and said, I will fund unlimited money against anybody who doesn't support his nomination. Whoever it is, whoever runs against them in the next primary has unlimited funds to run against him.
Wow.
She said, quote, if you want to know the specific quote, she said, I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seat in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. To Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto. This is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I will not if you vote against him.
What a great quote.
I like
oh, my
this.
God.
Fire!
That is awesome.
That is wild.
Good for that.
Administration had a real problem with saying anything.
Lying to it?
I'm just saying, maybe there's not telling us for a reason. They don't want to spook people.
Hey, when is
But I don't
Pam
think
Bondi?
that's the truth.
Rick, when's Bondi?
When do they? Yeah, she's already done. They have to vote on her.
Oh, she's had the hearing, but yeah. I love her. She's just everything I would want in a district attorney and a politician in general.
Actually, I think we retweeted I think Shanahan actually has a video.
This RFK hearing, oh my God. And Kash Patel, well, actually, Tulsi, Kash, and RFK, they are going to be just must-see TV.
We got audio here. Aaron, is this working tonight? Come on.
Uh-oh. Get the audio guys in here.
I think you have to reset it every time you restart Wirecast.
How about now?
And tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes. We need as many votes as we can get. This hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff. Please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto, this is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long.
You gotta say that.
That's pretty badass. As a
Yeah, like hearing it from you was like, angry.
13th to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Vinnie Mac is here. He's back.
That's right.
Vinnie Mac's got some news and some thoughts on some things. What's been bothering you?
Yeah, first off, I love that video. It's one of the best things I've seen.
Yeah, we'll play it here if we have some time after you're done. We'll play what we just talked about before we went to the break. Nicole Shanahan, of course, who was RFK's running mate, and she is a certified billionaire. And she's got a little message for everybody as we endeavor on to RFK's hearings tomorrow, and she calls out some specific senators. But
does it so nicely.
And so nicely.
Yeah. Well, she's
so badass.
Yeah.
And so we'll play that here in a second. But what's going on, Vinny?
It's what we need from money. A couple of things. Of course, I want to give a shout out to Caroline Leavitt, who did today was just absolutely everything this country wants to see. Everything. She's 27. It's my daughter's age.
27 years old.
My daughter's age. She handled herself as professionally as any press conference, press secretary I've seen really ever. I mean, we've had some good ones. She just was spectacular.
On
she
day
knew
one.
her stuff.
Yeah, day one.
Day one.
No nerves.
Absolutely nailed it. So kudos to her. I've been caught up in a few Facebook battles.
No.
I know how shocking that is.
What?
Yeah, no
I know.
way. It's shocking. A lot to do with pardons and a lot to do with deportation. And I was curious to see if you guys knew who said this.
Okay.
I'm going to read it.
I can name that tune. Oh, no. Go ahead.
That is more than a woman. Okay. If you're a criminal, you will be deported.
Barack Obama.
If you plan on entering the country illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, but they're the same actions by every Republican and Democrat president for the last half century.
I believe that was Bill Clinton at the State of the Union.
No, that was Barack Obama, 2014. Right. He deported more people. When I get into these debates, what happens to the liberals whose hair just goes on fire and they absolutely freak out is they lose all sense of just rational, common sense discussion. So if you're talking about Trump deporting all these people, you have to go back to what other presidents did and followed the law. You have to go back and see these things and cite them. The other thing that really stuck out for me is ABC, CBS, and NBC, their coverage of the pardons. This entire matter of the pardons, before I get to this particular point, is outrageous. And we've discussed this about how constitutional it is. And of course, my opinion is it's not. But having said that, pardons are for criminals and people in jail to commute sentences. And we know that you might not like the pardoning of the January 6th folks. And we might not like the pardoning that Biden did with sex traffickers and drug kingpins and Chinese spies. None of us like it. I don't think there's been a pardon, maybe one or two, that we've all said, oh, I like that pardon. I don't think that's been the case. But they're completely different than preemptive pardons. So the media has been covering Trump's preemptive January 6th pardons at about 10 times more than Biden. And we're seeing what happened in the first run with Trump all over again with the media. 46 average minutes on ABC, CBS, and NBC News for Trump, 3 minutes on Biden. And if you ask me, when someone follows the law, which Trump did, you might not like it, but he followed the law. These people were convicted of a crime. They were in jail, and he commuted their sentences and pardoned them. Simple as that. Biden preemptively pardoned criminals and people who did harm to this country without any crime being made. The people on Facebook that I'm battling, these liberals, I go through this argument over and over and over, and I get the same answers, just like, well, he pardoned January 6th, the criminals that attacked police and all this kind of stuff. It just doesn't matter. A pardon's a pardon. And the proof is in the pardon when people are pardoned, especially with preemptive pardons. What's the biggest proof we possibly could look for about how bad these people were and the illegal activities that they did? Then a pardon, going back to 2014. You don't need to say anything else. But for some reason, the people on the left, and of course some of my crazy friends on Facebook, they don't get it. One other quote that came through that I thought was great, because he mentioned that Kash Patel is going to be, going through his committee and all that kind of stuff. And someone said something, it's so perfect. He said, Kash Patel is making all the right enemies. Pay attention to who hates who, especially on the left. And if you see the certain set of characters that hate certain people that being nominated, they're the perfect choice. He is making all the right enemies. It's exactly what we need.
Yeah.
And if I don't see that, I don't get as excited.
If you don't see the visceral reaction of, oh my God, this person's the worst in the world, and they're okay with that person, then that's not the right person.
That's exactly my point. I feel like, wait a second, did he pick the right person here?
Right.
To whatever. When they get all crazy and foaming at the mouth, something's up.
Right.
And even with RFK, he's controversial. I think if we all sat in a room 2 or 3 years ago, we might have different opinions about him. But what do we need? We need a flamethrower to the health business, the business of pharmaceutical, the business of healthcare, and all that. Who's going to do that? Well, this guy will.
Yep. Yeah, he's been doing it for years.
So this is what we need. That's what people don't understand. We're resetting the entire platform. That's what Trump's doing. It's a reset. A CEO comes into a company that tries to fix it. This is what he does or she does. They reset the culture and the people and everything and how they do business. This is what we're seeing. It's beautiful.
Same with any radio station. If you've ever been in the radio business, anytime a new program director comes in,
right,
everybody's out.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you've been doing a good job. It's just they want their own people. Same with like football teams, right?
Yep.
GM comes in, he wants
Corporate
to be able to hire his own coach.
Yep.
The coach wants to hire his own assistant coaches,
Exactly.
right?
They bring
And it's
their own team
culture.
in.
It's a reset of culture.
No question.
It's really what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's up and down the line.
Yep.
That's why outsiders are great. Anyhow, that's what's been on my mind, Dave. I got a few more things, but we'll cover that as we move on in the show.
All right, very good. Well, speaking of RFK, as we just were, let's finish with this Nicole Shanahan clip from today. Here she is, as kindly and gently as she can, putting fair warning to anybody who's going to think about opposing RFK. Here she is.
Hey everyone, tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes.
Very nice so far.
We need as many votes as we
She's
can
charming.
get.
Part two.
So this hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff. Please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto, this is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long. It ends now. You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice is yours. Please choose wisely.
Oh, man. Mic drop.
Wow.
Boom. Boom.
There you go.
Man, she did say nothing wacky.
Yikes.
I'm getting a certain. I think she's trying to send a message.
Don't get on her bad side.
Yeah.
This is a message. It's what we need. If you're going to put money in, walk the walk here, man. She's doing it. Well, we're just reading off teleprompters. It's
We're distracted enough, so don't worry.
I cannot believe these messages about the Babylon Bee thing. People didn't think I knew it was the Babylon Bee, or didn't think I knew what they do.
Oh my God!
You read it like
you read it, by the way,
I
in
can't.
such a great way.
Exactly. That was the whole point.
That was the point. That was the point.
Tell Delgado,
You need a cigar
the
and get
5%
upset.
that he quoted, I guess people gotta stay
Just
at home
can't
and work
believe the
is a lie.
messages I'm getting.
May 24th, 54% work entirely in the office now.
I cannot believe the messages we're getting.
No, not according to.
It was
I can't believe you read that
satire.
like it was serious. Oh,
Maybe we need to do more of
I've
this.
said-
This may or may not be accurate, or this may not be real.
oh,
That's a good
my
one.
Lord.
I'm not sure the validity of what I'm going to read. And here you go.
I got bursitis. I ain't got time for that.
How did this woman make all that money?
Huh?
How did this woman watch the
I think she was married to a tech billionaire, or she was
Interesting.
like a tech person or something.
Yeah.
That's satire.
Damon, everybody's taking you very serious.
Yeah.
Okay? You might have to smoke that cigar.
No idea what they're even watching.
What's that? Exactly.
Oh, without doubt.
Exactly. Whoa. Look at that. A peanut gallery.
Good old George.
That was a brutal massacre.
Oh, we got to get to Brian Glenn's question too.
Yes.
Get to that.
George Soros.
Oh, look at this.
What?
One.
I'll get it.
Yeah, it's a nice week this week.
Thank you.
Nice.
Oh. George Soros gets away with it, but he can't actually articulate it like this young lady did.
She's a lawyer. Nicole Shanahan, net worth, huge spike after her much-known divorce from co-founder of Google, Sergey Brin.
That'd make you a couple dollars.
Yeah, that'd make you a couple of
I would have married that guy too.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever it takes.
I would have
you know.
stayed.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to
Right,
do.
you got to take
all right?
one for the team.
Let me have that cigar for a minute.
Then would have doodled Google.
What does Google stand for? All right. He married well, and she put her money to work.
Hour 2, live from Studio 6B, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's doing the news. Vinnie Max here has got some thoughts on some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Daniel Horowitz today over at the Blaze. And, of course, we've been talking about what's going on in Florida. And tonight, the rhinos in the Florida Senate passed the fake anti-illegal immigration bill, ensuring near amnesty for over 1.1 million illegals who provide cheap labor for big business in Florida. They pretty much have gutted the Ron DeSantis bill. Now the rhinos in the Florida House will take it up. I think they're doing that about right now. And, of course, it's just unexplainable what's going on as you have supermajority. So people say, oh, the governor will just veto. No, they can override the governor's veto. They have supermajorities. The Republicans have supermajorities in Florida, I believe. They do. I mean, I know they do. And you're seeing social media from people, legislatures in Florida, saying, well, we've improved it. Well, we talked to the Trump team. See, this is where we need President Trump to take a definitive stand.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're not getting that tonight in this or in these last 48 hours with this Florida debacle. Because we need him to really come out and take a side here and say either I want what the governor wants or I don't. And I'm happy to water it down for what these three rhinos want.
Yeah.
And you want to give it to the Secretary of Agriculture. First of all, can we get just one other state that would do that? Just one who's ever thought about it, done it, or would think about it. Is there one? I find it hard to believe that we would give illegal immigration enforcement and give it to the Secretary of Agriculture to run it in the state of Florida. That's what this bill does. An illegal immigrant registers to vote in the state of Florida under this bill. It's not considered a criminal offense. That's what this bill does.
Amazing.
It is stunning what is going on in Florida right now. And to see people who only have their jobs down there because of what the governor's done in the last 6 years, decimating the Democrat Party on all levels, decimating DEI, decimating just everything, everything that's come to Florida comes there to die. You always have free state of Florida. You always hear free state of Florida. Well, that's all due to the governor who sets the bar for what governors in red states should make those states look like. And now you have legislators in this state of Florida with 400 people follow on Twitter going, well, who are you going to trust? A lame duck governor who's grasping for anything in his waning moments? This is what I'm seeing on it's like, dude, do you remember what the makeup of Florida was like before he got there? Do you remember who was almost the governor? The guy who was like cracked out, sleeping on the ground? What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Are you out of your mind? So just crazy stuff that we're seeing in Florida from the Florida legislature.
I have no doubt Trump will jump in here. I mean, this is it.
Well,
it's one of his most important issues.
It would have to be like tonight, like right now. And according to the rhinos in Florida, well, here's the governor of Florida 20 minutes ago. Here are your Republican state senators who bucked the Senate amnesty caucus, stood strong for the people of Florida, and opposed this weak, toothless immigration bill. Bradley, Collins, Grell. I don't know. There's a couple names here, so I don't know if the House passed it or not. I'm assuming they did. And there's 5 people here who I guess stood against it. This Joe Grutters, if that's how you pronounce his last name, says he spoke with President Trump last night on the illegal immigration bill. He says, what we're focused on is the executive orders the president has already issued. I talked to the president last night about this bill. We're trying to make it as strong as we possibly can. Hey, pal, you have super majorities. What's the excuse for it to not be absolutely perfect? You don't have any opposition other than your fake opposition within your party. You don't have any opposition. The Democrat Party has almost no life in Florida, and you're breathing oxygen into them through this. The Democrats in the legislature, however many there are left, are applauding this tonight. That should tell you everything you need to know about what's going on there. He says, is this bill perfect? It's not. But we're moving the ball forward. This is Joe Grutters. Well, if Florida State Senator, GOP treasurer in Florida, well, how could if the bill's not perfect, my friend, why are you passing it? You have super majorities there. You have no opposition. Why are you settling for not perfect? You can get to perfect if you want. You can get to whatever you want. You know what the governor wants. All of you want way less. So how do you end up saying the bill's not perfect?
They're so afraid of immigrants, because there's a lot of immigrants in Florida. Can DeSantis veto this? I think you mentioned that he could.
Yeah, but they can override it. They have super majorities.
They would have to override it. They would have to go back and vote on this again and override it. I mean, clearly DeSantis will veto this. I don't think there's a chance he won't do that.
I don't think it's going to matter.
And then he forces it back, and maybe there's some arm twisting that happens after that. I mean, I'm just trying to find a silver lining here to get what's got to get done.
I mean, by the way, here's somebody right here. I don't know who this is. Victims' Rights on X. It just happens to be the next thing I see here. With both majorities in the governor's mansion, there are no excuses for it not to be perfect or to give it to Democrats in any way, shape, or form, given the mandate that you were just all given with a landslide victory of President Trump. Unless it's about your donors and not your constituents. This is a disgrace. And that's exactly what's going on down there. And even with the hell that's been raised on social media from high-profile voices in Florida, Anthony Sabatini, who I reached out to come on the show tonight but never got a response, and others, it just looks like the Florida legislature is more interested in putting together an amnesty bill.
Well, I mean, unless DeSantis actually reaches out to Trump himself, unless he doesn't think he needs to. Maybe he's working behind the scenes right now, twisting some of those arms, saying, hey, you know what? I've got something for you, but I need you to do something for me.
That's why I think he'll veto it, and they'll go back in and hopefully get this thing corrected. But Damon, you just pointed out, I think, the main thing. These are the donors. Somehow it's the donor class, because the people, even immigrants that have been to the country legally, all those people that came over from Cuba that are in the country now, they don't want this flow of illegals and unvetted people who are committing crimes in their neighborhoods. And it was very clear in the election. The immigrants themselves that came here legally do not want these illegals here. So it's got to be the donors.
Daniel Horowitz says tonight, and he's been on top of this like nobody else, it's an amnesty bill that very deliberately places immigration enforcement in the hands of those that they know will not enforce it.
Right. And what was it? Agriculture?
Yep.
Yeah.
Agriculture.
Yeah.
Who's going to be pulled over by the agriculture cops?
That works.
Nobody.
Well, I mean, it's more than that. It's that there's a guy who runs agriculture. I believe there's he's got some background. He was. I'll pull it up, but it's just something that no other state would do, and for it to be happening in the state where everything that is antithetical to what we and President Trump believe in has been absolutely decimated, to see it happening there
of all places,
Yeah. It's like what we always say about the Supreme Court. No matter how many conservative justices we think we've put on there, we're always two away from having an actual conservative Supreme Court. And here you are. Here's in Florida, and you've got a bunch of Mitt Romney-esque, mushy, fake opposition Republicans trying to take all the power away from the governor. And then you've got legislatures who nobody knows who these people are, saying, oh, he's a failed presidential candidate now grasping for his last straw. So that's the excuse for trying to kneecap him here on something that the president won on, played golf with the governor this week, spoke to him yesterday on the phone. They're clearly, at least I think, in lockstep here. This is not what President Trump has asked on the federal level Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, and others to do. The idea, and as I said yesterday, 95 to maybe even more % of these encounters are going to happen with local law enforcement. ICE, federal law enforcement is not going to they're going to go out on specific, like what Tom Homan's doing now, going out specific targets, specific cities, go out, round up 700-800 a day. You talk about deporting millions. If we're going to get anywhere close to those numbers, that's going to happen on the local level. Local law enforcement needs to be empowered to be able to do their job. And in Florida, what this bill does is just the opposite. They gut enforcement. They take it away from local law enforcement to be able to act accordingly on scene as the encounter happens. That's where 95% of these things are going to happen. If you remove it there, what the hell's the point of the bill?
Typical politicians, no idea how to get stuff done while on the ground. They don't know how the real world works. They have no idea.
That's not it at all. They know exactly how it works. But it's agriculture. Agriculture depends on cheap labor.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, man, I get that.
I mean, that's it. It comes down to money. You mentioned donors. That's the donors saying, "Look, we got this sugar thing. We got these people over here. We need this. We need better profits." They're paying these guys off, and all they're doing. And Damon mentioned yesterday, or I read it in the thing when we were talking about it yesterday, that one of the two dudes in charge, he's looking for his next step up. So this is going to make his bones so he can get known. This is all this is. They're preening for each other. They're trying to get headlines, and they figured, you know what? DeSantis is weak. He's in his last 2 years, right? He can't run again. Can't run in 26.
Yep. Lame duck.
So he's a lame duck. Yeah, exactly, Slick. So they're taking advantage of it. And what he needs to do is, if he can't twist the arms, he needs to go to the big guy and say, "I need you to twist." Let them know that they will be primaried. Yeah. Just like Shanahan just played. Yep. Let these people know. Guess what? That'll be your last seat because we're going to primary you out.
And by the way, speaking of him being done, who's running for governor in Florida? Is it Byron Donalds? Is it Matt Gaetz? Where are they tonight? Where are they? Now's the time to speak up on this, as Anna Paulina Luna's doing tonight. And I don't know that she has any interest in running for governor. But where are these people tonight? They have to know what's going on. It's a huge, important state.
Yeah.
Are we trying to make it purple again?
Oh, no, please.
What are we doing?
Let's hope not.
Don't ruin that.
The citizens of that state will not go along with this. That I can tell you.
No.
If they're paying attention.
If they're paying attention is right.
All right, more news, sports coming up live from Studio 6B, 13 past the hour, right after this.
They tune in for
Aaron,
5
give me a little
minutes
sound here.
Looking for
The governors they've ever had. Donald Trump won by an incredible margin. No one predicted just, a few years back. And now Republicans are part of the problem in the state legislature? Explain.
We all, as Republicans, enthusiastically supported Donald Trump's promise to conduct the largest mass deportation in American history of illegal aliens. He won a mandate in November to effectuate that. He got into office and issued bold executive orders providing a roadmap for, yes, going after the cartels, securing the border, but then enlisting local and state law enforcement in the deportation efforts. The reality is they don't have enough resources to succeed in fulfilling that mandate unless states like Florida step up. We want to make sure all of our local law enforcement and state are in the fight. They're assisting with deportations so that we can reach this record threshold and fulfill the mandate. Now, all the Republicans I know were supportive of that. They all ran on that. But now when it comes time to do it, you've got folks that don't want to do. So I called a special session of the legislature that started on Monday, 1 week after the president took office, because we wanted to be strong and we want to get the job done. The legislative leaders initially said it was premature and there was no urgency for the issue of immigration. I've been waiting 4 years to do this. I've got a lot of urgency. Then they said it was a stunt to do illegal immigration legislation, but they got really negative feedback. So they came out with a bill that they unveiled yesterday that gutted all the enforcement that I was calling for. No state and local.
Well, Governor, people are listening to this and they can't. Their ears are bleeding because they're like, "This can't be happening." What specifically, really quickly, did they gut from your agenda, which again I know is supported by the president?
3 things. 1, no requirement for state and local to enforce immigration laws and work with ICE. That is a huge part of it. 2, they strip the governor, me, of authority, and they give it to the Commissioner of Agriculture. We just conducted raids with ICE. We got Chinese illegals down in Miami. We did a raid in Tallahassee. They want to give that to the Commissioner of Agriculture. They also allow catch and release. We don't think you allow catch and release. You have an illegal, they should be denied bail and turned over to ICE. So, but here's what they did, Laura, and this is, I think, the play. This is all true. It's weak bill, but they named it the Trump Act. So they think by putting the name of a strong president on a weak bill.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. Well, while we may have won this election, the fight to restore our great nation is only beginning. Now is the time to take a stand, and Patriot Mobile is leading the charge. As America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, Patriot Mobile offers a way to vote with your wallet without compromising on quality or convenience. Patriot Mobile isn't just about providing exceptional cell phone service. It's a call to action to defend our rights and freedoms. With Patriot Mobile, you'll get outstanding nationwide coverage because they operate on all 3 major networks. If you have cell phone service today, you can get cell phone service with Patriot Mobile with a coverage guarantee. But the difference is every dollar you spend supports your First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Switching is easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Patriot Mobile has a 100% U.S.-based customer service support team, and they'll help you find the perfect plan. So go there right now, patriotmobile.com/RAV. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, R-A-V, or call 972-PATRIOT. Get a free month of service, with promo code RAV, R-A-V. Switch to Patriot Mobile today. Defend freedom with every call and text that you make. Visit patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Slick's got sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow for all the great stuff Mike Lindell has there for sale. And, of course, over at mystore.com, if you want coffee and other things, it works there as well. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big Day. Good game in Tennessee tonight, right? NCAA men's basketball. Kentucky right now leading Tennessee 75-73, 25 seconds to go in the game there in regulation. That's number 12, Kentucky, taking on number 8, Tennessee. Very good game. And we got Michigan State rolling it up on Minnesota, 43-28, 13 to go there in the second half. Also second half, UCF leading Kansas 56-50. Go over to the NHL. Bruins right now trailing the Sabres 5-2, 8 to go there in the third. Canadians trailing the Jets 3-1, 10 there in the third to go. Blackhawks over the Lightning 3-1, 9 there in the third. Also in the third, the Hurricanes blanking the Rangers 4-0 in the Garden. And the Avalanche and the Islanders over here at UBS Arena. 1-1 is the score at the end of 2. Come on, Islanders. Capitals 1-0 over the Flames, 16 to go there in the first. NBA, the Sixers over the Lakers, 99-76. Tyrese Maxey tearing it up with 40 already, and LeBron James is in that game. No Joel Embiid, no Paul George. It's all Tyrese Maxey, 99-76, like I said, third quarter there. And then the Rockets over the Hawks, 80-70. Right now, that's also in the third. Well, the Chiefs and Taylor Swift send Super Bowl suite prices soaring. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. No one said winning was easy, and no one said watching winners could be cheap. As the Chiefs and Eagles prepare to rematch at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, prices for the relatively limited number of luxury suites at the Caesars Superdome has skyrocketed to as much as, you ready for this, fellas? $3 million. I cannot believe this.
That's a waste
With celebrities such as Taylor Swift and her many celebrity friends, Bradley Cooper, Rob McElhenney, and many others, I don't even know who these people are, numbering among the two teams' fans.
Danny Bonaducci, was he one of those? No.
I don't know. Predict the prices for the 165 luxury suites in the stadium could set records. The basement price for one of the 20 to 45 person suites is $500,000. That's more expensive than hanging out in your living room, Big D. However, those prices increase depending on the view of the luxury suite offers and, of course, the scarcity of suites and the demand for them. Simon David, managing director for Confirmed 360, an event and concierge company, tells TMZ Sports that having a suite in a suite is just the final perk of a luxury experience, and that starts when a client gets off the plane. VIP entrances, catering package, food, beer, and wine, soft drinks for the game. Wow, what a bargain for $500,000! Unbelievable. So, boy, that's some number. I cannot believe it. I mean, Norland's. That's a lot of money for Norland's. I don't know about that, man.
I don't know.
$3 million for a suite? Woo, Big D. That's a pricey
I mean, it sounds
game,
like a good night out to me. Vinny will put that on his American Express Black when we go down there. No problem.
Black. I'd like to see the carbon print on that card. Anyway, that's a wrap.
Bonaducci and Carrot Top will be joining me, and we're going to get a suite.
All right.
All right. Very big stars.
Yeah, big stars. So
And,
good old
we're gonna
Carrot
spend
Top.
the money.
Yeah. I'll take the.
You're gonna have that tux on again too.
Oh yeah, I still got it.
Yep, and now Logan Paul and Jake Paul looking to get it on. They're going to fight each other. It looks like that's the rumor. I'm going to get to that a little bit. That's coming up in next sports segment. The two brothers ready to get it on.
Get out.
Yeah.
Hey, it'll sell. That's a wrap, Big D.
They've already said they would never do that.
Yeah. It's perking up.
All right. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. 22 past the hour. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. And here with that's Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, first things first, a little order of business here from the Rumble chat. Sal Q Bags, Damon.
Who?
Is Sal Q Bags. That's his handle.
Sal Q Bags.
Yes.
Does he hang out with Johnny Meatballs and
I don't know, but
Sammy Filet Mignon?
he just throw in a 5 spot. He says, thank you for the awesome show. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
it's, I guess
Sal
it's
Q
like
Bags.
yeah. I guess it's the
Bags.
Rumble Super Chat version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Rumble?
Yeah, that's what it
Sal.
says here.
That was my father's name, Sal. You're in good company.
Check
bro.
it out.
Man.
Okay. I didn't
Sal's
know you could do
ability.
that on Rumble.
I didn't know
Or
you could
maybe
do
I
it
did
either.
know you could do that on Rumble.
I thought you said it once.
I got to check my Rumble
but
memo.
we haven't talked much about it.
Okay.
Checking it.
Very good.
So there you have it. Hey, I know we were talking about pardons a little bit earlier,
Yep.
and I want to make sure we got this clip in before the end of the night. Has to do with certain person who got a preemptive pardon. One Dr. Fauci. We hear about the left freaking out about Trump's pardons. Well, here's somebody who used to be on the left freaking out about this pardon. Here's cut number 2. Here's Michael Rappaport talking about Dr. Fauci's preemptive pardon. Check this out.
Cadaver Joe Biden, smoking Joe Biden, pardon Dr. Fauci. Why would Cadaver Joe Biden pardon the world's most famous doctor? And there's a lot of famous doctors. There's Dr. J, there's Dr. Pepper, Dr. Scholes, Dr. Seuss, Dr. Strangelove, Dr. Feelgood. Why would you pardon Dr. Fauci? What kind of a doctor has a pardon? When I go to a doctor's office and I look on their wall while I'm waiting to have my consultation, I want to see degrees. This medical school, he went to a Columbia Medical School, Cornell Medical School. He studied this kind of medicine, that kind of medicine. I want to see pictures of him on vacation with his kids. I want to see a picture of him with his grandkids in Aruba. I want to see success. I don't want to look up on the wall and go, what is it? A pardon? I don't want my doctor to have a pardon letter on his wall. Why the f*** would you pardon Dr. Fauci? What the f*** did Dr. Fauci do to us?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Good
What did
question.
he do to us?
That's a
Exactly.
good question.
We'll never know.
We never
Although
know.
we do know.
We know.
We know.
Anyhow. On more
He didn't do it to us.
positive information or news, I should say. President Donald Trump's pick to lead federal law enforcement operations is poised to clear a major hurdle in the Senate this week. That we're talking about Pam Bondi. There you go, Vin. A little
Yep.
Pam Bondi news. She is set to clear the major hurdle and has enough support from the panel's Republican membership to ensure a smooth ride to a confirmation vote. So expect a confirmation vote to come very soon for one Pam Bondi.
Delgado, you haven't talked about the biggest news story of the day yet.
Which one is that?
Tens of people are affected. Now does Jim Acosta quitting CNN live on air.
Well, I talked about it last night. Oh, he quit on air? I didn't see that.
On air.
Nobody saw it, apparently.
Yeah, obviously nobody's
10, 15 people are drastically affected by this.
Now, do you have that? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I have it. I have it right here.
Well, let's get to it. Oh, my goodness.
Here's Jim.
Never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN.
Yeah, right.
And I plan on doing all of that in the future.
Yeah.
One final message. Don't give in to the lies.
Sure.
Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth.
Sure.
Great.
And to hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message.
Yes.
I will not give in to the lies.
Okay.
I will not give in to the fear.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Post it on your social media.
Oh, excellent.
So people can hear from you too.
Sure.
No place like home.
I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming days, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been
All
an
10
honor to be welcomed
all
in
one
your
of you.
home for all these years.
All 10 of you.
That's the news. Reporting from Washington,
Yes.
I'm Jim Acosta.
Thanks for watching, Mom.
Man.
I thank my audience, Mom, my daughter, my grandmother.
Tens of viewers are so upset tonight.
My mother-in-law's watching.
Yeah, that one flew under the radar.
See, I always loved Prince, but when I saw him do the "My Guitar Gently Weeps" riff,
I was across the street from that show. I was in a pub across the street. I saw him in a club afterwards. He played a
that was
private
magic.
show.
It was magic.
That was incredible.
But why didn't he play like that on more of his music? Like, I don't remember hearing a lot of his music with a lot of that.
He did.
Just great guitar playing.
No, you just didn't hear it because the guy has 2,000, 3,000 songs. He's got his vault. There's so many songs he does. He has a number of songs that he plays like that. Question of You, but you never hear them. They never made the radio.
I need to hear.
You
some
only
of
heard
those.
like "Let's Go Crazy." That's the closest thing you would have really heard.
Right.
1999. But he's played some serious stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
But
Clapton
it
and
was
all those
never
guys were in
mainstream.
awe of his performance that night. It was probably one of the best guitar performances, ever in terms of just taking over the stage.
He did, and they didn't know it because in the practice he didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
He got them.
He
at
went
the show.
nuts.
Yeah.
He really
Jeff
did.
Beck almost crapped his pants. on
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
He couldn't believe that. Tom Petty, forget, he was blown away.
What a
Blown away.
talent! I mean, when I
And,
saw that, but I would have no idea that this guy
Yeah.
could play like that.
And the son, right, Dhani, he was like he couldn't get over it. Nobody. And then he threw his guitar in the audience.
And he went back, fell backwards, got caught. Anyhow, just the playing itself is amazing. He was a super
One of the
talent.
greatest. Yeah, I was right across the street from that show. I couldn't get in because I wasn't a member of NARAS.
Was that,
that was the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and
It
Roll
was
Hall
his
of Fame,
retirement. He got not retirement. He got inducted that night. It was 2004. It was March of 2004.
When did Pete Carroll get hired by the Raiders?
2 days ago.
I think on Sunday.
Did
on
we
Sunday.
cover that?
No.
It was over the week.
I didn't get into like Aaron Glenn and Brian Schottenheimer. I can cover that stuff, but I didn't think it was really something the audience
they
wants to
had
hear.
last week, I remember talking about.
No, Carol, they finalized it maybe Friday, Saturday. Yeah. That was a good hire for the Raiders. I mean, I don't know. I think Pete's getting a little up there, but
They needed a bankable coach. I mean, he's a bit of a bankable coach.
that he
I
is.
mean, he had terrible years in Seattle and great years, but
Score Islanders with 154 to go. They just went up 2-1.
tell
Simon
me
Holmstrom.
about it, baby. Come on,
Holmstrom, baby.
could be 8-2.
2 minutes to go, Vin.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's
Let's
a
cover
lifetime.
Trump's executive order on castration and mutilation of children, too. He signed tonight. That's a big one.
Oh, wow.
Another big win.
That was a big one. Good.
It's on our Twitter if you don't have it.
Anything new with the Social Security? Not really much update.
What do you mean?
As far as, still moving forward with that agenda, no tax on Social Security.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some more news with Vinnie Mac, and we'll do some more sports with Slick coming up. But let's get back to the news since we didn't do too much there with Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, this big story, which broke earlier today, is Donald Trump signs an order to end federal support for transgender transitions for people under 19.
Another big win here.
Yes.
That and they have been pretty consistent in this area. I mean, when you look at where we are, where we've come in this area, and a lot of it due to Trump, especially, well, just overall, what Trump's done in 7-8 days here is put the world back on its axis. I mean, it's just incredible what he has done. The wins after win after win, and this is another big one.
Isn't it amazing? It's only, what date is it? It's the 28th?
Yeah, it's
8 days.
8 days.
Total
8 days.
reset.
That's it.
Total reset, man.
8 days. It
Everywhere.
feels like 8 months already. President Donald Trump earlier today signed an executive order aimed at cutting federal support for gender transition for people under 19. His latest move to roll back protections for transgender people across the country. It is a policy, according to Trump in the statement of the United States, that it will not fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support the so-called transition of a child from one sex to another, and it will rigorously enforce all laws that prohibit and limit these destructive and life-altering procedures. Basically, stopping the mutilation of kids who are being manipulated into thinking they can be another sex.
Yeah.
The order directs the federally run insurance programs, including TRICARE, for military families and Medicaid, to exclude coverage for such care, and calls on the Department of Justice to vigorously pursue litigation and legislation to oppose the practice. Medicaid programs in some states cover gender-affirming care. The new order suggests that practice could end and target hospitals and universities that receive federal money and provide this care. It's basically been, they mutilate these kids, but it turned into it's a big profit maker for the hospitals.
Yeah.
Is what they're finding out. The push is the latest by the Trump administration to reverse policies by the Biden administration to protect transgender people and their care. On Monday, Trump directed the Pentagon to conduct a review that is likely to lead them being barred from military service. So another big step, another feather in the cap of the agenda of Donald Trump and the Trump administration as they push forward. Another great thing, I don't know if you saw this one, Damon, and the hits just keep on coming this time. Yeah, General Milley. Guess what?
Pete Hegseth's getting busy.
General Milley's got a little problem. Pentagon is pulling General Milley's security detail and his clearance, quote unquote, immediately, and may even face demotion in retirement.
Wow.
So a big step against someone who, in a lot of people's opinion, committed treason. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced he is immediately pulling retired General Mark Milley's personal security detail, and security clearance. Multiple senior administrations officials told Fox News. The secretary is also directing the new acting inspector general to conduct a review board to determine if enough evidence exists for General Milley to be stripped of a star in retirement based on his actions to undermine the chain of command during President Trump's first term. The Pentagon is also removing the second portrait of Milley inside the Pentagon, this one from the Army's Marshall Corridor on the third floor, honoring his service of Chief of Staff of the Army. Fox is told the removal of this second portrait will take place as soon as tonight. So it could already be in the trash right now as we speak. This means there'll be no more portraits of General Milley inside the Pentagon.
Are they keeping the wallet-size images of Milley, or just the portraits are going?
I don't know. I think they're going to keep those.
Just for his mom.
I'll take the wallet.
The now retired General Milley and other former senior Trump aides had been assigned personal security details ever since Iran vowed revenge for the killing of Soleimani in a drone attack in 2020, ordered by Trump during his first term. Asked why these actions were taken, a senior administration official who requested anonymity replied, "This is a new era of accountability in the Defense Department under President Trump's leadership, and that's exactly what the American people expect." So there you have it.
Yeah, before we get too far away from the last news story about the transgender thing, I just want a couple things here. Matt Walsh, who has obviously been on top of this more than most, said Trump's legendary start to his second term continues. This is a massive win tonight. It also sets the stage for crippling lawsuits against the butchers who mutilated so many children. We keep racking up wins on this issue. It's total domination on the scoreboard. I've read through the entire EO on child mutilation. It's spectacular stuff. I couldn't have written it any better myself. Trump is doing literally everything he can do in his position to put a stop to this barbarism. Now it's up to Congress to finish the job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how much courage they have.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, New York City's minority communities, believe it or not, they're cheering the ICE raids that are rounding up the violent criminal migrants. Get them the hell off the street. That is the word coming from New York City residents in Hispanic and black communities that supported President Trump in huge numbers in the 2024 elections as they hailed Tuesday's immigration raids that nabbed scores of suspected heinous criminals, starting in the Bronx, where Trump's support surged 35% between 2020 and 2024. Heavily armed federal immigration agents stormed through the city, targeting migrants with warrants for murder, kidnapping, and other heinous crimes. Among those arrested was Anderson Zambrano Pacheco, 25, an alleged ringleader of the notorious Venezuelan prison gang, Tren Aguirre.
Tren de Aragua.
Yeah. You said it. Who immigration officers took into custody at the Ogden Avenue apartment in the Bronx. Oh, thank God they got him, said one of the residents that lives nearby. Elsewhere in the borough, locals expressed similar sentiments. Get them the hell off the street. Get them the hell off the street so people don't have to walk in fear, said Evelyn Brown, 80, a Bronx resident from Jamaica who voted for Trump.
36 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some more news with Rick Delgado and Vinnie Mac. Let's just go back to the press briefing room today. For the first time, Carolyn Levitt took to the podium, and she was absolutely fabulous, prepared, well-spoken, not nervous at all, thorough, had her notes, didn't need teleprompters, didn't really even seemingly need that many notes. And we're starting to get a small glimpse of some of the changes that they're going to make. As she rightly points out, that Americans are getting their news from a lot of other places other than the three big-time legacy, crooked, ideologically driven news media outlets of CBS, ABC, and NBC. And the chairs to the right, she said, are now going to be the new media chairs, where I guess every day they're going to have some new media types like Real America's Voice. I don't consider Breitbart new media, but I guess they still consider Breitbart because Matt Boyle was in those seats today. He got to actually ask a question. But who else was in the room today was our own, and who will be in the room, I believe, every day, maybe in those chairs at some point too, is our own Brian Glenn. And Carolyn Levitt called on Brian Glenn about, I don't know, fourth or fifth, right up there in the beginning. Brian was there and knocked it out of the park again with a question that's going to drive ABC and NBC and CBS and people in there just absolutely bonkers.
Good. We like that.
And here it is. Cut one. Roll that.
Brian Glenn.
Yes. Welcome. You're looking great. You're doing a great job. You talked about transparency. And some of us in this room know how just transparent President Trump has been the last 5 or 6 years. I think you'll do the same. My question is, do you think this latest incident with the president of Colombia is indicative of the global, powerful respect they have for President Trump moving forward, not only to engage in economic diplomacy with these countries, but also world peace?
Absolutely. I'll echo the answer that the president gave on Air Force One last night when he was asked a very similar question by one of your colleagues in the media. This signifies peace through strength is back. And this president will not tolerate illegal immigration into America's interior. And he expects every nation on this planet, again, to cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens who illegally entered into our country and broke America's laws. Won't be tolerated. And as you saw, the Colombian government quickly folded and agreed to all of President Trump's demands. Flights are underway once again.
Well, she's great, too. I really like her.
Oh, she's so likable.
Awesome.
Not like the last one.
No, night and day, literally.
Yeah, but what about Brian Glenn? Bada bing. There you
Friend
go.
of the show.
Brian's great.
Yeah, Brian's great.
Yeah.
He is great.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yep.
And it will be every day. I mean, every day that she's in there. I suspect she'll be in there most days.
Yeah.
And, you've got Brian there. You've got Amanda there for Just the News. You've got Natalie there for War Room. So Real America's Voice is well covered there at the White House now. And it's a tribute to not only Trump realizing, I mean, Vin, we talked about this in 2015.
Yeah.
He was going to use media in a way that no one else ever used it. He wasn't going to spend the money that she spent back then. And it's continued as he obviously realizes that networks like this one have been there, have supported him. The people on the network have supported him, covered the events, realizes that one of his greatest accomplishments in the 10 years that he's been since 15 has been exposing the frauds in the Praetorian Guard media. And obviously, so you would expect as kind of like the bow on top of this cake as 4 more years to wrap up this Trump era of 10 years, 14 years, whatever it'll be, will be to try to change the landscape of that media and welcome in these outfits like Real America's Voice and others, and where people are spending their time getting real opinion and real news from.
It's essential. He's also got podcasters in there and some influencers and things like that. I heard her talking about that.
And by the way, you can apply. They have a website for outfits or shows to apply to get press credentials for the White House.
Oh, nice. Well, you know what?
So they may be accepting even more.
And you know what's interesting about this? You mentioned, the other networks like Real America's Voice that, supported the president, but it even goes beyond that, because when you look at the landscape and how much it has changed from 2016, 2017 to the way it is now, the deep state media has kind of fallen off a cliff in terms of people are watching. So it only makes sense for him to open it up because, of course, they had to go somewhere. And as he found out, a lot of them came here. So that's a tribute to, I think what we're doing as a network also, trying to make sure we're getting the other side out, because it's always been so heavily, left leaning that, even just a little bit is much appreciated.
Yeah. And what he realized through this election was that people were listening to different networks like ours,
right,
podcasters, and all those types of things. And what he's doing is, by elevating them, is discounting this mainstream media domination, because whether they have small audiences or not, they dominate the story.
Right.
People talk about, because they're presenting such a, biased view of every story. But people, the general public's not listening to them. So, he's enabling another shift. And in this case, it's a media shift.
Yeah, because most of America does not read the New York Times, the Washington Post, or the LA Times.
It's so hard to do.
They just don't. Because they're not something that they can identify with.
It's a critical strategy, frankly, for the success of both his administration and further, administrations after him, like J.D. Vance.
By the way, Carolyn Levitt came to the podium today with no binder, no nothing, and she was asked about that from someone. I think Jackie Heinrich said no binder, and she said, my binder's in my head.
I love that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And that's someone who's in touch with their boss on the same page. Unlike the past press secretary, who didn't even know, the boss didn't know who she was.
I'll circle back.
She probably had to talk to 4 different people to get what was going on. All right, live from Studio 6B. We'll wrap it up for Tuesday when we're back right after this. All right, chat. What's going on? Chat. Damon, you asked who ran the administration. Try KJP. Nah. I don't think so.
She's too stupid.
She was just another one of the pawns that they pushed out there to provide a biased narrative. They're trying to force feed us. In a matter of a week, we have just forgotten how lame Joe Biden was, because Trump is so damn strong.
So true.
In 1 week.
It is so true.
Damon, are you covering RFK Jr. tomorrow? Yes.
That's a big
Child of the King super chat 2547. You missed some super chats. That guy in Jargus Hunter sent one saying, "Thank you, you guys rock." Okay.
The problem is they delete them for some reason.
I know. The problem is I don't see them. Let me go over to actual YouTube, see if I can find them there.
I try to track them, but sometimes you got other stuff to do.
Okay. Come. All right, that guy, 1776, Big D, Delgado, Slickster, Paulie, KDG, my man Vinny, Fran, and the wonderful Aaron. God bless everything you guys do to keep the 6B family informed on what is happening in our country. That guy, thank you very much.
That
and again,
guy,
that guy thank you so much for these.
Ooh, those are beauties. Look at that.
Look at that.
He's going to smoke the whole box tonight.
Gary wrote a beautiful letter, too, by the way. I'm not going to read it because I don't know if he wants me to, but beautiful letter.
I got to read that.
Jargus Hunter, Slick, what's your absolute favorite Prince song?
My absolute favorite Prince song? It's very cliche. In 1999, I fell in love with that song in 1982, October. I'll never forget the first time I heard it.
Totally get that.
So what's your favorite song?
A party. 1999.
No, I know. That's the year, but what's the song? What's your song?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's on first?
Hello.
Child of the King. Oh, I read that one. All right, so those are your 3 super chats. Thank you, everybody.
That's nice.
Music on this show is great. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks to Fran.
Fran?
The king of curation.
It's Tim Tinnerington, I believe.
Imagine if Fran had licensed music. Forget it. He'd be knocking it out of the park.
The orchestra.
Actually, no, he wouldn't, because I'd be telling him all he could play.
That would be a very high bill.
Dalbert.
Yeah.
Come on, Dalbert. We got Dalbert.
Giving it up for your love, Slick. Everything.
Oh, that's a great song. I love that song. I was cracking up. I almost drove off the road when I was trying. That's
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's been doing sports. Do a little more here before we wrap it up. Delgado's been doing the news, but let me go to Vinnie Mac. He's here. And he's got some news as well. What else has been on your mind, Vinnie Mac?
Oh, big stuff, but something just broke. Trump just posted it. Came out of Newsweek that the California Secretary of State, Shirley Weber, has approved a campaign to gather signatures petitioning for a vote on whether California should leave the U.S. and become an independent country. Funny how a little movement towards red gets them all freaked out and wanting to have their own country.
Oh, my God.
Amazing.
Gravy.
So here's what's on my mind. I messaged you guys earlier on this thing. 3 words. Stephen A. Smith. Oh, God. The dude was on fire on Bill Maher, and he said 3 things that just resonate. It's so simple when you just express yourself in the bottom line of what's happening here. And that's what he did. And he did get a good applause here. The 3 things are this. He went back to 2020 and he said, hey, we listened to you. You ran on all this stuff. You told us what you're going to do. You made all of these promises and you didn't do it. It made us distrust the government and you didn't do what you said you're going to do. So Trump gets voted in and wins. Then he said something about the media going crazy every minute about everything Trump's doing. He did this as an executive order. There's this thing, all this stuff. And he said, hey, it's pretty simple. He's honoring his campaign promises. When's the last time you heard a Democrat honor their campaign promises? This is coming from Stephen A. Smith. I thought it was brilliant. And then the last piece was his criticism of Kamala Harris, whom he voted for, and he regrets that vote, but he did vote for her. And he said they failed miserably. They took a hand-picked candidate that's lost everything. They forced her on us. She was absolutely losing every primary, and they told us, oh, no, that's not her. She's great. He goes, no one bought that. This is why she lost. So this is a Democrat. This is a liberal. This is a guy that was on a very liberal show, and Bill Maher's show, getting a great round of applause, talking about 3 very basic things that happened in the election in a very, very honest way. And you know what I say to all of that? We need a couple of more million Stephen A. Smiths. If Democrats are like this, where they're calling balls and strikes and just putting it out there, hey, you told us this, it didn't happen. And you know, he's doing what he told you he's going to do. What are you surprised about? And then you force someone on us that we know we don't want and we don't even like. Like, what do you expect to happen? Like, this guy set the bar. I would want to see that run over and over. I can't get enough of it. I've watched every clip of it. I've watched it over. I saw it live on Bill Maher Friday night. I tune into that because I hope some of his common sense comes out.
Did you see Matt Gaetz on there?
He wasn't on Friday night?
He was on recently with Bill Maher. I don't think it was on his regular show. I think he was on that other thing he does.
Oh, yeah. Where they smoke and drink,
nightclub looking deal. Yeah, whatever.
I did not see that.
Yeah,
What
I saw some. I don't know. I saw some clips of it. Looks like they had some pretty good conversations on some things, but at least, I mean, he's at least open to doing that.
Well,
him and Fetterman are about the only two, I think.
Yeah. Him, Fetterman, even J.D. Vance. I mean, he did the whole liberal circuit, over the weekend. He was on all the major networks. The guy's stunning. I mean, he's as good as they get.
He's like a machine that was born out of, like, I don't know, AI or something, and his like only programming is to go on with phony journalists and just destroy them. That's like what he's set to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's doing pretty good at it too.
He's just too smart, though. This is a reporter can't keep up with him. He's just too smart. He knows not only information, but he knows exactly what's going on. They're not used to this. They're not used to this level of intelligence to retort, a basic question. And that's what's happened. And he's smooth, and he gets to the point. He's got so many good qualities. I can't be happier with this pick, man. I had a gut feeling about him to begin with, and he's sure panning out.
Yeah. All right, 9 minutes to the hour. Let's wrap it up with some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slick, what's going on?
Big D, we got another super chat from that guy, 1776, and he said, Big D, you can read the letter. It's a tribute to everyone there. So if you want, I'll give up sports to read that letter from our good friend.
All right. We got plenty of time. I'll just read. Yeah, sure, I'll read it. He says, Big D, Delgado, Slick, Rick, and Paulie, thank you so much for every single thing that you do to talk about what is going on in this great country to expose the lies and corruption that plague this nation. As a former police officer and Operation Enduring Freedom Iraq combat veteran, it hurts my heart to see what the politicians are doing to ruin the greatest country on God's green earth. Thankfully, we have everybody at LFS6B, all of the hosts, all of the guests, especially Fran and Aaron, and even Harry.
Even Harry.
He had to squeeze that in, didn't he?
That make the LFS6B show a huge success. Big D, if you wouldn't mind displaying the cigar box on the show when you get it, that would be awesome, as the name on the box states freedom. This is a reminder to me when I enjoy one of these great cigars, the blessings of freedom that we enjoy and that so many of us take for granted. I hope that you, Paul, and everyone else at 6B that smokes cigars enjoy these as much as I do. God bless America. Your friend, Gary. That guy on YouTube.
Wow.
How nice is that?
That's pretty awesome, beautiful. Gary. Thank you.
Gary's
pretty
good
awesome,
people, man.
right.
And thank you for your service.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So, just beautiful. All right, Slick, you got time still. What's going on in sports?
All right, we'll get the quick score.
Boy, scary scene out of Duke, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt you right away. It looks like some student had fallen unconscious, and medics had to pull him out of the stands and rush him out of there. I hope he's all right.
Oh, my goodness.
At the Duke game tonight, yeah.
Man, terrible. Well, men's NCAA basketball, the Battle of the Bourbons is just ended. Kentucky beats Tennessee 78-73. What a game there. Number 12 beating number 8. And we have Louisville over Wake Forest. Big win there, 72-59. St. Bonaventure down Dayton, 75-53. NHL action, the Islanders have just gone up 3-1 over the Colorado Avalanche with 6 to go there in the third win. Not bad. Capital blanking the Flames 1-0. These are all finals. Sabres bombed the Bruins 7-2. Jets over the Canadiens 4-1. Blackhawks down the Lightning 4-1. And the Hurricanes blanked the Rangers in the Garden 4-0. So that's a story there. And, we get to a quick story here. Who else is out there? But, of course, Conor McGregor. It will not be tolerated. UFC star Conor McGregor blasts pro-Hamas protesters in Ireland. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. On Saturday, UFC star Conor McGregor blasted supporters of Hamas and Hezbollah who held protests in Ireland and carried the flags of the two terror groups as they marched. McGregor attacked these terror supporters in a social media post in which he said it should be illegal to parade around with the flags of the two terror organizations. To raise the flag of a terrorist organization on Irish soil must become a major crime in the eyes of our state, he wrote on X. It will not be tolerated nor lauded. He added, raise a country flag off your own person and off of government buildings. Yes, no problem. Raise the flag off radicalized terror organizations. Offer the same. Big problem. The fighter added a video on the protest, and McGregor has been outspoken about Hamas for quite a while. In 2023, he blasted Ireland's prime minister for downplaying the release of an Irish child kidnapped by Hamas terrorists and called PM Leo Varadkar a disgrace. That same year, he was seen speaking out and blasting officials in Dublin for attacking Irish citizens on the heels of a riot to protest recent crimes committed by migrants. So pretty heated there. Connor wants to defend his country. So
Nice.
We'll
Well,
see.
someone's got to.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
talk up to these people.
He is very outspoken. I know
Yeah.
he's had some trouble with some other things legally, but
Sacred Heart to Jesus.
quite the patriot out over in his country. And that's a wrap.
All right, Slick. Very good. Delgado, anything else we didn't cover in the news?
I don't know. We covered a lot tonight. I'm sure we'll have tomorrow. We'll have a bunch more.
Yeah, I mean every day. I mean that's the point, right? Like every day. Well, we'll have RFK. We'll see what happens
We'll
with
have
that.
RFK tomorrow.
And,
Man.
the most interesting part of her video is that she calls out the two people that she unfortunately supported who both won, which was Ossoff and Warnock in Georgia in that race that we needed to hold the Senate. She cut some big checks to Schumer, and now she's saying, I'll be watching. It's going to be interesting to see what the two of them do.
Yeah. Couldn't stand that.
She's got everybody on warning, both sides of the aisle.
I like it.
As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel, all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody that keeps the country moving forward. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Friend, great job as always. But most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. Gary, thanks a lot. Appreciate the letter and the cigars. We love you all. We appreciate you all. We wouldn't do it without you. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, live from Studio 6B.